Ahoy! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with an Armajet Loadout Lowdown in association with Fiery Tail. This series is a pilot's guide to every weapon in the Armajet arsenal, aimed at making you an even more lethal bounty hunter. Now, most of the weaponry we've looked at in Armajet so far is based on riddling your opponents with bullets, blowing them to chunks with grenades or rockets, frying them with electricity, or blasting them with superheated plasma. Today we're looking at the Ripper, so it's time to rip and tear. Whether Ninja Shuriken or, more recently, the Ripper in Unreal Tournament, the concept of bouncing razor-sharp discs into soft flesh isn't a new idea, but it is bloody good fun. The Ripper fires 3 razor-sharp blades in fairly quick succession before needing to reload. Sinking a disc into someone's soft bits deals a decent dent to their hit points, but if you're just after raw stopping power, stick with something like a Locust, Longclaw or Leviathan. No, the Ripper, fittingly enough, is not a blunt instrument to mindlessly fire into your opposition, and it requires you to have at least 2 brain cells to rub together for warmth. Thunderstorm mains, you're excused from class. Here's a glue stick for you to lick on your way home. The Ripper is a zoning weapon. I've talked about zoning in the Badger and Venom videos, but if you haven't watched those, and why not? Do you not appreciate the effort I go to try and teach you how to be a better Armajet pilot? Then zoning is the act of influencing and restricting your opponent's movement. The Ripper does this by turning a corridor into the White Palace from Hollow Knight. Good luck getting through that unscathed, you piece of... This is achieved by the fact that the Ripper discs bounce around like flubber laced with broken glass. The bouncing helps separate good Ripper users from paint-huffing wannabes. Hilariously, you can bounce Ripper blades around corners to hit enemies that think they're safe and untouchable, something no other weapon can do. You can also use this to your advantage to extend the Ripper's already considerable range, and Hail Mary some poor sod sitting off screen if you watch where your opponents are fleeing to. But Benzie, you mock us Thunderstorm users for not having to aim, and now you're talking about firing off screen and hoping to hit enemies you can't see. Firstly, I'm impressed that you finished that glue stick so fast. Secondly, blind firing off screen doesn't work. The Ripper's rate of fire is slow enough that if you waste your shots, any enemy that happens to be nearby approaching from any other angle is going to close that gap quickly and turn you into paste. It's about anticipating your opponent's movement. The Ripper, you see, is a finesse weapon. You're unlikely to be able to rack up Doomslayer level kill sprees in a team deathmatch unless your opponents are absolute idiots, but if you learn to hang back and snipe your shots and block approaches, you can become the most irritating pilot on your team, which, in my opinion, is an even more prestigious accolade. You're the one they'll remember. Zip your blades down the common approaches and you will keep that enemy team at a distance. Know how to ricochet your blades around corners and off screen and you'll be able to finish off anything that your teammates don't. Some flea-brained Thunderstorm user thinks he's survived only for you to thwip a disc into their ass as he runs for safety. Oh, satisfying. Deeply satisfying. Even if they manage to heal up, you can zone their approach back, giving them a gauntlet of spinning razor blades to run through to get back into the fight. At which point, why did they bother healing? The Ripper is a support weapon that gets better the smarter you are. With some big brain thinking, you will be shredding the opposition to ribbons in no time. Now, as a Ripper user needs to lodge 3 blades into the skull of an uninjured, unshielded target to kill them, and as the Ripper has a fairly slow rate of fire, the best way to take one out is by rushing them. As long as at least 1 blade misses, you will likely be able to take the Ripper user out before they can reload. Sniping works well too. Well, of course, a high-velocity sniper bullet to the skull of any problem tends to fix it. So, you've decided that playing zippity-doo-dah with high-velocity razor blades like some kind of homicidal Uncle Remus sounds like your super happy fun times. Now, you need a secondary weapon to twin it with. If the area denial aspect of the Ripper is your cup of violent tea, then you might like to use the incendiary grenade. See, playing a game of dodgeball where the balls are skin-gouging spinning discs of death is one thing, but throw in a literal game of the floor is lava at the same time, and you've got a recipe for beautiful infuriation and pain. That said, I'm personally a fan of using the Widowblade here for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I am just a sucker for the thematics, so the idea of unseating Kerrigan from her throne as the Queen of Blades excites me. The recharge is quick and the damage is sufficient to finish off wounded opponents, thus you become the ultimate kill stealer. Your opponents will hate you as they'll feel like every time they're just about to survive with a sliver of health left, one of your blades comes out of nowhere to finish them off. Your teammates? Yeah, they're going to be angry that you're stealing all their kills too, but I just like to remind them that if they sucked less, this wouldn't happen. I'm just cleaning up the mess they failed to finish off after all. Well, that's the Ripper. What are your thoughts about the weapon? What do you run it with? How many Thunderstorm mains have you made cry this week? Let me know in the comments below or on the Gaming Galleon Discord. Happy sailing, and see you in the arena!